Welcome to DAPS Magic Live. I'm Mr. DAPS, and tonight I am joined by Katie and Murray, who is still rocking out to that music that he put together for us for DAPS Magic Live's Extinct Attractions Showdown, where we make our way through all of the domestic Disney parks extinct attractions, say that fast 5 times, and we are determining what the best extinct Disney attraction, in our opinion, is. And tonight we are visiting the parks of both EPCOT and Disney's Hollywood Studios. How is everybody tonight?
Stressful. Great. I'm very warm.
How are you, Murray?
I'm good. I feel like that should have been like, and also pointing to the emblem while you say I'm very warm.
I'm very warm.
There you go. Yeah, because everybody's wearing a Spirit jersey when it's 90 degrees. So what is it? Oh, 80 degrees out now. So it's better. It's much better. It was 91 at my house today.
You know, we felt like we'd get in the spirit of Florida.
Sweating, right? Speaking of sweating, don't make us sweat it out, because we are trying to get to 40,000 subscribers. We're almost there. So if you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, because we are right in reaching distance of hitting 40,000. With that, let's head into tonight's Extinct Disney Attraction Showdown. What do you think, Murray?
Sure, why not?
All right, I'm going to add your thing, and there we go. Voila. Start us off, sir.
Voila. I'm going to hit that little thing too. So I think we will go, and I was going to point out, the funny thing is we're saying Disney's Hollywood Studios. However, with the extinct attractions, it's probably better to say Disney MGM Studios.
You're so right. And that kind of counts as a full-on like attraction. Yeah, extinct thing in itself.
So why not go? There's a little less, and also because I think Epcot is going to be hard.
Yes.
Wait, no, Epcot's going to be hard?
I think
oh, hush.
I 100% agree with you.
I think we all have some kind of, maybe, well, Katie and I have Epcot references on right now. So
I don't. I went with Hollywood Studios with Star Wars shirt.
Good. We gotta.
Because I honestly just didn't know what to wear, and it's hot.
I just have a very intense love of Epcot.
I would love someday a bow tie though with the Epcot logo on it, like that little, like all over it, kind of like these icons are on this. It'd make a good bow tie also if it ever gets old. All right, so start us off, Murray.
So,
can you zoom in a little bit? I'm sorry.
I know sometimes I might be able to.
Okay.
Here we go. And we're zooming, and we're zooming.
Much better. Now I can read.
So, real quick, because I know sometimes I bring up some controversies in how we're going through the bracket. Through all the parks, I did not want to repeat attractions, because then it might come down to like Captain EO versus Captain EO, and that just wouldn't work.
So it could only exist in one place ever.
Basically.
Yeah,
because if you watch the Magic Kingdom one we did before, I didn't include the Skyway because there's a possibility of having the Disneyland Skyway versus the Disney World Skyway, and it's roughly just the same, different sites. So anyway, that to explain.
But you could have fought over which view is better.
That's true.
We could just do an extinct Skyway bracket.
I think that's a good idea.
Whole hour show
on that. So. With that, we are going to start with the American Idol Experience versus Legend of Jack Sparrow. This time I am very prepared. I have some video as we're trying to figure things out.
All right.
However, I don't have it of the American Idol Experience. It's just the Legend of Jack Sparrow.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you get hit for copyright with the American Idol Experience.
Probably.
And I have mixed feelings on this, mainly because there was one I liked better, and there's one I think is a better experience. Did you want to show something as we talk?
Sure, we could. Yeah, let's duke it out. Here's the Legend of Jack Sparrow for us to enjoy.
Which I believe you filmed, right?
I did. I think I was probably like the only person on the face of the planet that went to it.
I went to it once.
Oh, did you? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, because I didn't know any better. I was like, "Oh, look, Pirates of the Caribbean guy," and so I went and went once. So as we're watching this, Murray, what was your instinct on which one you'd vote for and why?
I, whew, it's actually a little hard in some ways. I think I have to talk it out. So American Idol experience, I think was a really good like show. I really
Mhm.
like the effects in it. Um, it was interesting to do. Like it was something. Um, it was really short lived. I think too. I don't even think it was open a year.
I think it went longer than we
Maybe.
realized.
Okay.
Because I feel like I had a couple of trips out there. In fact, one of our friends, Anne Marie, who was one of the original DAPS Magic members, actually got to do it and perform.
Okay.
And so we had to like stay in that park the entire day. And because there's a process and you have to go through the back door
Right.
where you now meet Mickey and Minnie, I think, or you were up till recently. And so there was this whole process she had to go through from like morning till I feel like it was late afternoon. It felt very long because I'm kind of a get there in the morning, leave for a while, and come back
Yeah.
for fireworks in the evening kind of guy. And so I have mixed feelings on it, but keep going.
No, and that's the whole thing. It's a good. It was a good show. It was fun. I think it fit. So American Idol experience.
It had quality.
Fit studios, yeah, for what studios was.
Yep.
It even I think paid homage to the past attractions that we'll get to as well. But yeah, I don't feel like everyone could really actually experience it in its like full experience.
Mhm.
It's one thing.
So which one would you vote for?
Well, I don't know, but on the other side, I think the Jack Sparrow thing was also really hard to watch. I tried, I saw it this once, and then another trip that I went to, I kept trying to watch it, and you either had to wait like almost a half hour because one would be going on, and they'd have to like, I think cycle through people, or there's something weird about it in that way, and um, but it had just one story. So then, I mean, as you can see, so then if you tried going again, you'd be getting the same thing. Whereas American Idol experience is different each time.
That is true.
People.
I mean, one was a show that was a show, and the other one was more of an experience.
Yeah.
Is there any chance you can turn your volume up? I'm seeing in the chat, by the way, Murray. If you can't, I can hear you. But if you can turn it up just a tiny bit, I bet you'll make him happy. Go ahead. That's better, I think.
Whew. Come back to me.
Okay.
I'll help talk it out, but come back to me.
Okay, Katie, what do you think?
I'm going to say Jack Sparrow. Simply from watching this,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like the production value is a little bit greater than the American Idol experience. I did experience the American Idol experience. I went to it. And I was not blown away. It felt like I really don't want to sound rude, but it felt like an elementary school talent show that you didn't really want to be at.
And that's the trick with something like that, is it really is dependent on who's in the park on any given day.
Yes,
and so like the day when Anne Marie did it, there was actually some legitimate talent in the room. Whereas I could totally imagine being in another show where it's like, oh, none of you have ever sang in front of an audience before. This is awkward.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're going to vote for Pirates.
Yes.
Or Legend of Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Murray, we're back at you.
I think watching the video again, I had the same thing. I actually went by myself to do American Idol experience, which it's fun, but like it was better if you had a family.
Yeah.
You know, so like, but if you're any weird like by yourself or with a couple, American Idol experience was not quite as fun. Because like if you're a couple, then one of you is performing possibly and the other's still there. Like there's not, you don't have the same feeling of something. I think just for that reason, I got to go Jack Sparrow, just because it'd be the same experience for everyone.
Totally.
Well,
and I actually feel like there's something a little bit more Disney about Jack Sparrow than American Idol. To me, Disney always takes you out of the present and reality and takes you to a different world. And I think American Idol to me always is exactly what I'm trying to get away from when I go to Disney. Like it's the daily like barrage of media and barrage of competition, and it's I'm not going to say it's stressful, but it almost was stressful. And actually it kind of was, because you want Anne Marie to win, but I'm going to go with Jack Sparrow just because I feel like it's more of the bringing the movie magic to life, and it's more of a detachment from reality.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I would vote for that one as well. So that's 3 for 3, huh?
Yes.
I guess so.
Good start.
There's a podcast that both Murray and I listened to, and listening to it, I realized they're talking about MGM Studios and how in the 90s they basically tried to shoehorn all the ABC, ESPN, everything properties. And that's part of where MGM Studios started to falter a little bit, is they tried to just be like, hey, we have these things now, let's use them. And I feel like American Idol experience was definitely one of those things that didn't necessarily need to be a Disney theme park experience, but Disney was excited that they had the property.
Well, and it was a huge property, and it probably still is at some level. But I just think that people go to Disney to get away from reality. And it's like, well, I can watch that on, I guess, was it Fox back then? On every week, and it's better.
Yeah.
And okay, cool. What's next?
Yeah. Well, we'll go to the other side. And we've got Lights, Motors, Action.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
Magic with Disney Animation. It's funny. I think I found for majority of these a video of just one of them in each bracket. That is not trying to sway the vote. That's what we recorded. So we've got the Magic of Disney Animation. I believe this was recorded by Mike.
We have that one?
We have that one. We have the
Really?
very last
Really?
So
I did not realize that.
So it's Light Motors Action versus the Magic of Disney Animation.
Huh.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Where was this?
It's in the studio.
Launch Bay. It's where Launch Bay
is. It where Launch Bay is?
Yeah.
Once it zoomed out, I was like, oh, that's Launch Bay.
This is not what it was in its heyday, though.
Okay.
I think I have to think through when it was in its heyday.
And I feel like I went at it towards the end as well. I agree with you, Mikey. Virtual queues for Rise of the Resistance is very stressful as well.
That's true.
Yes, but it's not an extinct attraction yet. So,
oh, don't say yet.
You know,
it's true.
We might come up with something that's the next level. All right. So, anybody have an opinion on this? Like, I do remember this now that I'm seeing the video.
Well, I think that's the hard thing is like in its heyday, this is not what it was. It was a real production studio. It had the Return to Neverland movie. I don't know if that's what it was called, but it was Robin Williams and Walter Cronkite.
Yeah,
which was a really fun movie. Gosh, I'm trying to remember what else there was. Like, it was a lot more behind the scenes, and there was just.
This was the place where you really got to see how an animation studio worked in its heyday, right? And is this the one where you got to like walk on the thing above where the animators were working in the window?
Yep.
And
yeah.
So it's that versus Lights, Motors, Action, huh?
Well, yeah, and that's
hard.
Like, what do you go by? Also, because then what it ended up being is they incorporated the how to draw, I think, character greeting things. I think there was some. Sorry, that turned very sad suddenly. So some things like that.
He did a good job.
Let's go back. So. Yeah, I mean, it's a hard thing of like it turned out to be really different in the end in some ways. So,
well, I think in its original version, it was probably a whole lot more exciting, and I loved the idea of it. I did really enjoy Lights, Motor, Action. Especially the older incarnation of it with Herbie before they replaced him with Lightning McQueen, and But I think this was more of a Disney magic experience to me, other than the Herbie moment, because the other is basically a different version of the Indiana Jones stunt adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually really enjoyed the one I experienced that one for real, Lights, Motors, Action. But I think I would have preferred to experience this because you're seeing Disney history being created in its original form. And I would love to have done that. So I'm going to vote with the tour.
My issue is that I have fond memories of both from my visit to Disney's Hollywood Studios. My first visit in 2009. And I do remember this closer to its heyday. I remember getting to see animators working. The Animation Academy was not there when I went.
So you saw like good stuff.
I did see good
cool.
stuff. So I would probably say this, simply because though I have great memories of Lights, Motors, Action, I also remember it being very hot because it was in the sun, and everyone's like crammed in on bleachers. Yep. And it's all cars, so there's no like redeeming cool factor for it. And then there's fire. Like there's no redeeming cool factor for it.
So I'm sure your dad loved it.
Oh my gosh, he did. Yes, it's very true.
He would vote otherwise.
I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason why we went.
All right, Murray, what do you think? We've got two votes for the.
I think this was hard too. I really like Lights, Motors, Action a lot, but I think it's the same thing with American Idol in some ways, that it was just hard to catch at the right time for me, and that frustrated me a lot. Like they only had the set show times, versus I think in any incarnation of the magic of Disney animation, you could always do something, and it was always fun. Like I still, in its end, in its final stage, I still went in and really enjoyed seeing the characters and interacting with people, and I think that experience, there would be a little bit of rare characters, or it was just a good place for that. So yeah, I would go with Disney animation as well.
Cool. All right. Well, there we got one. That's weird. 2 for 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
We don't have that often.
No.
At all. I did not try to set that up that way, that we just automatically do it, because this one's probably harder. Great Movie Ride versus the Backlot Tour. I don't have a video. Well, I have a video of Great Movie Ride. I actually don't have a video of the Backlot Tour. This is not going. I have to say something.
I don't know how we never got a video of the Backlot Tour. Like I feel like we could have, and we just never worked it out. Yeah.
Yeah. My brother and I actually got to be in it, in the stunt, stunt part, special effects part.
Cool.
So I actually got to experience like what you're fully supposed to experience.
That's very cool. And getting to do the full experience, would you vote for that one, or would you vote for Great Movie Ride?
I still have to think through, because gosh, I mean, that's a huge memory. But again, like I keep saying, it's the idea of like, what can everyone experience with it? And so that, like you'd have to have volunteers. Not everyone could do it. So like it's something I remember very well and will keep remembering. But Great Movie Ride just was an amazing experience, because they're like the tour guides or drivers, whatever to call them.
Yeah.
Like they had, I know where Katie's about to laugh in saying some of this, but there are some great performers with it.
You're not wrong though.
No. Like, I know that's not why I'm. That's not
why we're laughing.
Okay. There's has to do with the podcast that you referred to. But yeah, I like great performers, great experience. You got to go through great movies, hence the Great Movie Ride. I mean, like it's the thing that I always felt like was the main thing about the studios park, not the Backlot Tour so much, like this ride for me, and I think for a lot of other people. So
I would go with Great Movie Ride as well. Mainly, I loved how it picked up the magic of Hollywood nostalgia. And to me, it was one of those attractions that just threw you into the middle of the movie, even when it was obviously dated, obviously not as perfect as it could have been. It still was really fun to have the movies come to life around you and get to be in the middle of it. And that's actually why I'm excited to go ride on Runaway Railway, is because I feel like that actual concept is what they ran with, is putting you in the middle of the experience, as opposed to I mean, that's actually what they've done with Dark Ride since day one, now that I verbalize it. But I really enjoyed Great Movie Ride, and it had a lot of my favorite movies in it. So I'm going to go with that one. Katie, you're up.
This is for Murray. I remember how I told you that I've been doing a Bugsy Bones impression all day. This is now very hard for me to not go, hey, the Great Movie Ride was in Sing Sing. Great Movie Ride was, I got to also experience both of these. And I was actually really disappointed because my second trip to Walt Disney World for my 21st birthday, Great Movie Ride had just closed like 2 months before. And so I truly only got to experience Great Movie Ride once in 2009. But I am so glad I did, because I also feel like that was before TCM backed away and before things kind of got, I don't want to say neglected, but you know how Disney gets sometimes when they just know that they're going to close an attraction anyway, and so they're just like, we can make it. And so I'm glad that I got to experience it. I'm also going to say Great Movie Ride, just because it was a lot of fun.
Okay. 3 for 3. What is going on?
I was also kind of
I had the video for it. We'll go to the video real quick.
Because I was 12 and we got, robbed. And I was like, oh my God, is this supposed to happen?
It was so good. Right. We're almost there, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's the next scene, I think, where we get robbed. This is just the gun battle.
I also think that I'm glad they didn't go. This almost looks like Rise in some parts. I do think it's terrifying that they originally had a plan with the tour guides to have a tearaway pocket that made them look like they got injured in the mob boss shootout. I'm glad they didn't go with that.
I wish they had. It actually reminds me a little bit of the Star Trek experience in Vegas years ago as well, where they just brought the experience to life and you're right in the middle of the movie or the TV show. Yeah, super fun. We have an actual, I haven't watched this video in so long. I forgot it was so good.
Great Movie Ride. So much.
Okay, great.
All right, let's go to the next one.
All right. We will go over here. I think this is the last of the side brackets for Hollywood Studios, also known as MGM. This is actually very much MGM Studios. Disney.
Very much.
It totally is. And I think I know which one I pick.
I know what. I don't have any recognition of one of them, but I still know which one I pick.
I had to switch together the Sounds Dangerous and Monster Sound. It was roughly the same. It was a different movie that you were going through, but for the most part.
It was the same concept, right?
It was the same concept for the most part. Something about sound. It was actually they were a little bit of different.
Well, it's more about gaffing. Like it was like making the sound effects, wasn't it?
Actually, Sounds Dangerous, it used the binaural headphones. It was the Drew Carey one.
That is right.
Afterwards was still the hey, yeah, it's the gaffing. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Superstar Television, for those who are watching that don't know, that was one of the opening day attractions. If you were selected, you got to be like against a green screen or other stuff. You got to be like on a show or in a movie, sort of, or I guess television on a show.
Didn't they have it on a Wonderful World of Disney or something? They did a segment of it or something.
I believe so. Yeah.
Like I remember that as a kid, and yeah. Okay, so what would you lean toward? To me, it would be Sounds Dangerous in Monster Sound.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to go Superstar Television simply because Sounds Dangerous had that horrible haircut thing.
It did.
Which then brought it to Disneyland.
Yeah.
I actually got to go with Sounds Dangerous also.
Really?
And it's because of my long string of just like the Superstar television. My family and I didn't do it a lot for like the years that it was open.
Uh-huh.
And it really was like, it's the same thing of American Idol that like, unless you have a member
It's in it.
that's in it, it's not quite as fun. Like it's the same thing. It's like how you guys put it. It's sort of like watching a kid talent show in some ways, because nobody really knows what they're doing. They just sort of get thrown into the scene and
Totally.
yeah. So I think
Well,
that's where I got to go with Sounds Dangerous. Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, so that's the
I
winner.
will make sure it doesn't go any farther.
Okay.
This will be mission in life is
Mhm.
I just have like, I know some people like sound things. I don't.
No,
I have a big
and I
issue
don't
with
blame you
like
for it. Yeah.
sounds.
It's still a
Mhm.
weird one. It's not that I'm liking it altogether. I think it's
That's
just
fair. It's
different.
simply better. I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. All right, we're narrowing it down. So this is Jack Sparrow versus The Great Movie Ride.
Is this even a like?
I mean, one's got a sword
This-
though. So
to me, this is a no-brainer. It's Great Movie Ride all the way.
Yeah.
Like, to me, yeah, I just don't think it's even close.
I knew a Jack Sparrow in Sing Sing.
Well, and the first, and my argument with it is I went to Jack Sparrow once, and Great Movie Ride I hit every time I was there, if not multiple times I was in Florida.
Yeah. All right. This is the death of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Maybe that'll be in the next movie.
That checks out.
That would be a good choice. Anyway.
I don't think I said verbally. No, I got to go with The Great Movie Ride. It's yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that what you said, Katie?
Yeah. Absolutely.
She said Sing Sing.
I said Sing Sing.
Okay.
I said I got my mob friends.
I'm glad.
I knew a guy named Jack Sparrow.
All right. So animation or sounds?
Animation.
Murray?
Don't
I'm
say-
watching the chat for
Don't.
opinions also in case they disagree with us.
If anyone says something
I
dangerous, I'll overrule
I'm
them.
trying to. I know, but I'm just trying to think if it's a bias for being a long time admirer of the animation. Like I love that, but I wanted to. Be
I
an animator for a long
100%
time.
agree though. Like, and I didn't ever want to be an animator because I can't draw, but I do love the concept behind it.
Yeah,
its original form.
Yeah, I gotta go with animation.
Cool. This is getting interesting then, because it's
Yeah.
two very different but very Hollywood studios related attractions.
Even-
because
I mean, one didn't have a lot of Disney movies in it, but like Great Movie Ride is still a very Disney.
it had Mary Poppins. That makes up for everything.
It's Sorcerer Mickey.
Yeah.
And Sorcerer Mickey makes up for everything.
And now Alien is Disney. So
That might not make up for anything. So movie ride or animation, huh?
Great Movie Ride.
I struggle on this one. I will be honest.
Oh, I don't.
I think and this is gonna sway it. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm curious for you, Mr. Daps, what you're gonna say. I'm gonna say Great Movie Ride. I think that was a very
I think because I experienced it, I would say Great Movie Ride. But imagine if you got to walk through. Let's just say the animation thing had continued in Florida.
Oh
and
man, yeah.
Like imagine, let's just say Rapunzel or Tangled was animated there, and you could walk through and you could see them actually putting together, and you could see the models and the computers and all that stuff. I might have a very different opinion then. However,
Ooh. No, go ahead.
However, I would, because I have so many fond memories of Great Movie Ride, which is where I'm conflicted, is because I have great memories of Great Movie Ride. But if I take myself out of the equation, the what if is almost leaning towards Disney animation.
There's a lot of memories that suddenly came flooding in my mind from when I was a kid. Like and Mr. Daps and Katie are gonna know what this refers to. I would come close to having a Disney Afternoon Avenue experience going through the tour every time. Not the actual Disney Afternoon experience, but Disney
It was
MGM
there.
experience, but it was close because it's what you said. Like, and that's the memories that I have. Like, I was so excited to see what they were working on every single time, and that was always the huge highlight of going to Disney MGM Studios.
Well, and Mike's saying that he can just watch the animations and the Blu-ray extras, which is true. You get a really good behind-the-scenes look at that. But there is something really cool about being.
There was a huge difference
right there. As like I just think of like, I don't know why Tangled keeps popping my head, but imagine it was Frozen or something, and you could be like, hey, you know what? I was in this hallway, I was looking down in this room as they were making Frozen. Like, that's a really cool thing, because then you're not just observing Disney history, you're a part of Disney history in a way. And yeah, I think Great Movie Ride wins because I was outvoted, but I actually think I would have voted. I think I would go Disney Animation. If they updated Great Movie Ride while it was there on a regular basis, and they kept it, I don't know.
I'm switching. I think I'm switching my vote, and I'm going to have a reason. I actually think
when this happens.
I think there was a period of time that, like, the park was having some trouble, and it had to do with production. I think that's the whole thing. If it were kept, if they kept the studio somehow, that portion,
it would have provided so much direction for what we see today.
Well, and Disney Animation is so strong now. Like, I think during that period of time when they were shutting that studio down, it was not strong. I think because it's so strong now, it's exactly what you're saying. There'd be tons of people wanting to see behind the scenes of it.
Whether it's, I mean, like, what if they made Mickey Mouse Clubhouse there? Like, you could do so many different things there now.
Planes?
Well, then I might go back to Great Movie Ride.
The Dane Cook classic Planes.
The second one was really graphic. Like, it's like, how does kids watch this?
Really?
It got there was fire and stuff, and it was
scary for me. I haven't watched either film.
I reviewed both. You can read my reviews on DAPS
Magic. I will.
I wouldn't suggest it.
I believe, are they on Disney Plus? I haven't even checked.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I have not looked either, and I probably won't.
I'm looking right now.
The first Planes was a remake of Cars, but with planes, and it was not as good. And then the second one was just like, how can we scare little kids who are already afraid of fire?
Planes is not on there.
Oh.
It'll be on November 6th.
Okay.
Planes, Fire, and Rescue will also be on November 6th.
Okay, there we go.
So Captain Akron 27 says in the next 50 years, they will have a new greatest movie ride. That would be awesome. And Rafi says that he likes Indiana Jones Epic Spectacular, which is an awesome attraction as well.
I still feel a little bit robbed of the Great Muppet Movie Ride.
Oh, yes. Actually, I still want that.
Because I loved... Whoa. I always feel like I have to readjust because I'm always like really off to one side. I loved the Great Movie Ride.
Yep. Put Muppets in
great attraction. You put the Muppets in parodying the movies they're supposed to be a part of. High art, you know?
Can you imagine if they did that with the American Adventure, by the way?
That would be
there you go,
I would love that.
All right. So I think we have a winner.
We do. I think it's Disney Animation.
Let's move on to EPCOT.
All right.
Epcot. This is going to be harder. Oh.
It is. It very much is.
I love Epcot so much.
I don't think it's going to be as hard as we think. We'll see.
I don't know.
I think there are elements that are hard.
I'm actually trying to think through. Is there any we could start that is relatively?
Yes. So start right there. That's fine because it's going to be journey to
imagination. We're going to go Millennium Village versus Club Cool. I don't have a video of either one.
I don't have a familiarity with Millennium Village.
That's okay.
Okay. There was a really long pause, and I was like, "Oh God, am I not considered an Epcot stand anymore?"
My cynical view on the point is neither of them are going to win anyway. But
Wow.
There's almost a spit take from me.
am I wrong though? Like,
You were.
But Beverly.
No,
I
Club
literally
Cool,
looked at
yeah.
both of them and I'm like, I kind of don't care. I'm leaning a little bit towards Club Cool just because of memories, but frankly, the last 2 or 3 times I've been there, I didn't stop anyway. So
I don't know, man. Did you see the last day of Club Cool? Everyone got their Instagram pics.
but that's my point. Is I didn't even bother to look.
I'm at Beverly.
It was a joke.
I know.
I got to do Millennium Village once. I don't have much recollection with it.
Mike
will
says
admit, if that
Club
says
Cool had
anything.
free drinks.
It did.
Penguin Project thought the Millennium Village was garbage.
Okay.
So
there maybe we go. But no, I think people have more memories of Club Cool. Like I think anyone who went to Epcot, if you said, "Oh, did you like?" They might not
I
know
had to
Club
do it
Cool,
once. You're
but
right.
you said, "Hey, did you go into the Coke thing where there's like a weird tasting drink, but you got it for free?" They're like, "Yeah."
I never did Club Cool.
What? Really?
I know. I never did.
Wow.
So we went to that glow in the dark
Wow.
bar thing instead.
Well, we did that, and then even when I was a kid, I didn't have any interest
That
in
almost
Club
was
Cool,
my
and
memory.
I spent like 14 hours or something in Epcot when I went on my first trip. But I still didn't do Club Cool, and then I always like saw people drinking Beverly, and I feel like I missed something, but at the same time, I don't.
I mean, it's one of those things that you can say you've had it, and 90% of people I feel like didn't care for it, and like I it's fine. All right, so I think Club Cool was the winner, right?
I think so.
Sure.
All right, let's move right along.
They did have Inca Cola there, which you can get at Target sometimes. I have found out.
I also have heard that they have the melon, like the Japanese melon soda that people really love.
It was a little bit sweet for me, but yeah, it's okay.
So
is there any? We're gonna start hitting it. This is hard.
Maelstrom.
Body Wars versus Maelstrom.
Maelstrom.
Wow.
I actually really liked Maelstrom, and part of it is my uncle lives in Norway, and so I grew up being told Norwegian stories by my grandparents and uncle, and so there was a very personal connection to that attraction.
Hold on.
Oh, good.
We have videos.
I miss Maelstrom. I did get to experience it, which I feel grateful for.
And it was so overly dramatic.
It
was. It was so fun. Like
I'm trying to think if there's anything I can't really defend Body Wars. I feel like I liked
there's
it.
no. It is.
It made people sick. And it was very cheesy.
Yep.
I was gonna say
so was Maelstrom, but
and I feel I don't have any like remorse that I didn't get to experience Body Wars. You know, I like that Leonard Nimoy did it,
but Rogers
that's
Maelstrom 1,000%. So I think that says it all right there, doesn't it? Like
we didn't even get through the. That's okay.
Yeah, we didn't even make it into the.
Just the mural alone, which has a hidden Mickey.
There was a lot of good moments in that. Like overall, it was a little bit weird, but there was a lot of good moments. Okay.
Journey into Imagination versus El Rio del Tiempo, which
to me it was Journey into Imagination.
Yes.
Thank you.
Katie, we're having a request that you say Leonard Nimoy again, please.
Leonard Nimoy?
Was that what you wanted, Mike?
I don't know what I did.
I don't either, but
Leonard Nimoy? Leonard Nimoy? I don't know what I said.
Just keep saying it. It'll be good.
I'm scared. I'm trying to cover all my bases.
So what? Anybody else agree or disagree with me on Journey into Imagination?
I love all the Epcot rides, so I keep wanting to defend like all of them.
Oh, I 100% agree with you, but this to me was quintessential heart of Epcot. And this might be one I fight all the way through to the end on.
Just to say, El Rio del Tiempo was a wonderful, wonderful ride as well. It had like it actually tried to be interactive in interesting ways. So
It was innovative.
but yeah, I think it's
But
imagination.
look at this. I mean,
know.
this is a work of art.
You know. Yeah, we got to go imagination.
Do you agree, Katie? I mean, I think you agree, but
I wrote an entire article about Figment.
I know, just making sure.
So
we're on the same page.
I love Figment so much.
For dinner, tastes like chicken.
Whoa!
All right, what do we got? There you go, Murray. We're gonna have a Figment picture on the Geeks Corner wall at some point.
There you go.
And I've got Figment right there.
It might be easy, might be hard. Horizons
Easy.
versus World of Motion.
Horizons.
What do you think,
And
Murray?
I'm feeling I'm gonna go Horizons. However, I still feel like saying something about World of Motion, which was a great ride. It had a lot more humor to it. Like it was rough. They were both roughly the same concepts in some ways, like going from the past into like the future of whatever. But
that's almost every EPCOT attraction.
I know. Horizons was I do have a video and I haven't put it up on our channel, so I didn't have it ready in time. But it is.
We need to get that up because that's one of my favorites.
Amazing ride.
And just amazing music, amazing message. Like it that is one I wish I had the pleasure of experiencing before it disappeared.
Yeah. All right, Cranium Command versus Kitchen Cabaret.
Veggie, fruit.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was like,
when has Buzzy?
Okay, so here's the thing. I will talk about this until I'm blue in the face.
Buzzy, we don't have that much time.
Buzzy is one of I get blue in the face very easily.
Okay.
Have you heard me talk when I mention this? So Buzzy is my favorite modern day mystery. Where is he? Who took him? Did he go to the archives? Why was there fluid everywhere? I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by Buzzy. I want to know where he is. But I don't care about Cranium Command.
Wow.
I simply care about Buzzy.
Wow.
I actually I can see that.
Like I really love mysteries. So I first personally feel like I should solve the case on Cranium Command. I feel like I should go down there myself with my magnifying glass and look for the boy.
I have to reopen the parks first.
Okay, well, on July 11th, I will go to EPCOT and I will investigate the former area
15th.
Known as Cranium Command, and I will walk around with and I'll have a hunch and I'll look for him.
So Kitchen Cabaret, is that we all agree on?
Veggie, fruit, yes.
This is actually a hard one for me between them. My family loved we all really like Kitchen Cabaret. I think my parents, particularly my mom, had a better memory of it or fondness. Like I loved Buzzy and Cranium Command. It did lead to Inside Out.
True.
As well.
True.
But Kitchen Cabaret had veggie fruit, which is an immensely okay. Who am I kidding? I gotta go with that just for that reason. That was one of the songs that I wanted in EPCOT forever. I
was like, after our last episode, how could we be discounting such a catchy tune?
Yeah. All right.
Well done.
Like I feel like I'm betraying my favorite park, one of my favorite parks.
Veggie, fruit, Murray.
I mean, even though all of them are
the hard part though with EPCOT is really like it's a park that has so many iconic and memorable attractions, and it keeps adding to that. And I mean, Mission Space is actually a fairly, I would say, continues that legacy. And I think we're going to get more of those kinds of things as it moves forward. We'll see how that all plays out. But all right.
Yeah. Okay. We've got Communicore versus Innoventions.
I'm going to say Communicore.
I want to hear what Murray says.
I was actually going to say Community Core. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer, Community Core, but you're also the only person that's ever told me to go to Interventions at Epcot. And
I think the hard thing is, well, and this is all like nostalgia for Community Core. Like I got
Oh,
to
yeah,
experience
100%.
Community Core that, like, in my mind, the nostalgia is huge. That I had such a great time in Community Core. Interventions, I always felt like there were like Some of All Thrills, Habit Heroes I really liked.
So it's elements.
There's elements of it. They had Electronic, I think was his name. There was a animatronic, and it was just fun to watch him. I think that's the hard thing about Interventions is it's, as a whole, there wasn't a lot that I really identified with. Community Core identified with a lot more.
Well, and
I could name everything.
Community Core to me seems a little bit more cohesive than Interventions ever was. And Interventions had a wonderful theory and a idea behind it, but I don't know that the execution ever had the synergy that one would hope would come from it. Or like it probably did. It just didn't feel like it all blended together all the time.
I think so. Like I'm not even sure I went to it in its like very prime kind of opening, because I think ours,
when it opened the first time.
I think so, something like that.
Because I was 08 the first time I went in Interventions, I believe, and I remember thinking like this is cool, kind of, but it's really for the kids, and so it just didn't.
It opened in '94.
I was 94. I wasn't even close
because Community Core closed in '94.
Okay, but all right, so we all agree Community Core anyway.
Okay.
I think it would be fascinating if somehow we could restore 1994 Community Core, and if we could walk through it today, because I think that would just be fascinating.
We like it's a very, it like wouldn't fit Epcot in some ways because all of the technology is like basically in our iPhones now.
Yeah.
However, it like I wonder if it would do well also for like, again, the nostalgia factor. Like people would find it incredibly fascinating to look at, like almost I hate to say it. It'd almost be a museum thing.
Like, but you could almost. But why does it have to be a museum? Why don't you bring in companies like Boeing, SpaceX, all of these? Like, there's a lot of new technology coming out that we don't necessarily see.
But I mean, that's still in some ways innovation. Like, I think with Community Core, like a lot of it was actually, and this is something to even defend it with. You know, if anyone wants to argue with us about Interventions, Community Core, a lot of that technology was actually built into your experience with the park overall.
That is true.
So there's
and I feel like
reservation system. Yeah, like.
But I was just saying, I think it would be a fascinating relic of the past if somehow we could walk into Community Core unchanged for the last 26 years and see, because Community Core closed 2 years before I was born. So I would think it would be, yes, welcome to the Katie's 12 show. I think it would be fascinating to see what the state of Community Core was when it closed. Like if it was an entire relic, but I would also be fascinated to see what they would do with Community Core today. Like, I just
think there's so much more technology that you could run with the same theory, and instead of making it a, I don't know, a museum piece or a, to me, there's this museum up in Portland, Oregon called OMSI, and Interventions always felt like OMSI to me. It was just kind of like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and they're all cool things, but it never really was like, oh, this is what I was supposed to come out of it with, which I feel like Community Core more was, and I would love to just see, like, take the most advanced technology of the day, stay with the same thing, and really have that cohesive, like, still call it Community Core 2.0. I don't care. And see what you could do with it, because I actually think even with the confines of what it was, you could probably come up with some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Next, we have Universe of Energy versus Ellen's Energy Crisis.
Ellen's Energy Crisis.
Really?
I think it was a little less dull than Universe of Energy.
Yeah.
But Universe of Energy had a better song.
It did.
That's true.
Like, to me, they were both boring.
I think they at least tried to.
I think they both tried.
Yeah. I still think it's funny that up until the Lord's Year of like 2017, they were sponsored by Exxon. Especially when we know about as much renewable energy as we do. I think it's very funny that they were promoting, and that the fact that they had Bill Nye promoting
Well, it's
fossil.
always been weird to me too, though, is those kind of companies are actually on the forefront of renewable energy. So it does make a little bit of sense. It just doesn't work in our brains that are like, hey, I buy gas from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Universe of Energy had a ridiculously catchy song. It had all the same main elements for the most part. And it was 45 minutes of your life you weren't going to get back either way. So,
yeah.
So you might as well come out with a happy song in your head.
Well, we were talking about this. We were talking about this on Friday. I was talking about how I had never ridden Ellen's Energy Adventure, or as it was named for literally 24 hours, Ellen's Energy Crisis, which I think is hilarious. I think that's the funniest thing they could have possibly named that attraction. But I never rode it. But I don't feel the need to watch a video on YouTube because I feel like I will not get that time of my life back.
The dinosaurs were cool, and you could see Ellen hiding in the bushes.
Yeah, but like knowing as much about the attraction as I do, it's very funny.
Working to Roger, man.
So
Roger, are you with me?
So I don't know if anyone else has not experienced the attraction like I have, but it's very funny to only know pieces. It's very funny to know Stupid Judy and dinosaurs and also 1994 Ellen.
So you're going to vote for Ellen.
I'm voting for Ellen because I think that they really tried to up the edutainment factor.
Okay. Murray, it's up to you.
I gotta go with Ellen's Energy Crisis. Or Adventure, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever it's called. Crisis is funnier.
Mike is with me at least. I appreciate you, Mike.
Universe of Energy was boring. It just was so boring for me. Like
everything was boring in that building.
I think Ellen though was more entertaining. I think it like
I will say I like the pre-show in Ellen. The rest of it seemed to me that they threw Ellen in a place she didn't belong.
But I think that was also part of it. Like that's what, and then she learns, and then she's
okay. I like that the people in the chat at least are with me. I've got Roger and Mike that are both saying Universe of Energy. Bailey doesn't. She's not there yet, and
it's okay, Bailey. I ranted about the boy.
I mean, I know I'm going to lose this, and I know it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, this is not going to be the winner for EPCOT. But
no,
it's such a good song for a really boring attraction.
Yeah, it's I think the problem.
Yeah. All right. So all right.
Yeah.
Well.
All right. This probably is going to be relatively easy. I think I did make a few easy ones just so we wouldn't hash it out too much. But
so tell us what it's going to be, Murray.
So we'll go through it. Spaceship Earth versus Food Rocks. I don't have a video for.
So is this the Walter Cronkite version or the Jeremy Irons or?
This one I believe is Jeremy Irons.
Okay, so number 3 actually.
No, actually only number 2. There's Walter Cronkite, Jeremy Irons, and then the one that is still.
I don't believe Walter Cronkite was the first narrator. He was the second.
I think you.
In fact, the first narrator was Vic Perrin, who was the narrator from 1982 to 1986. Walter Cronkite was from 1986 to 1994, and I only know that because I was researching it this morning.
1994 was a big year for EPCOT, huh?
I would personally have loved to have seen. Wouldn't it have been cool to hear Walter Cronkite, though? Like when you think of the different, like Jeremy Irons is awesome as well, but like Walter Cronkite, like that's, I don't know. That's really cool.
I actually got to do Walter Cronkite through Judi Dench so far.
That's really cool.
Walter Cronkite was really,
Was he boring?
Was really good. It didn't
Okay.
because I
Is
think
my
the problem
dreams about
was-
to be dashed?
well, because I think the problem is it's not a news story. Like it's not reporting the news. They made the ride was still dramatic, but
And
it
he's not a
was like he was
dramatic
reporting
reader.
the news. He's not a dramatic reader.
Got
So
it.
Jeremy Irons was better to me just because it fit the dramatic feel of it.
Okay.
I mean, like I don't think Jeremy Irons would do well in its incarnation right now because it's almost more. I don't want to say upbeat. They were all upbeat. There's something about like the Jeremy Irons era that was like it was very dramatic during that time comparatively. Walter Cronkite wasn't quite
and
as dramatic.
Jeremy
but,
Irons is dramatic, so
yeah.
I
So,
feel like it
so
kinda
the
has
whole
to be.
thing was,
So you're voting for Spaceship Earth? Is that what I'm hearing?
I am. Oh yeah.
I mean, I
Although
totally
that
am
would be
too,
rocks.
and I'm assuming Katie is, but I could be wrong.
You could be wrong. Do you even know me?
Did you really like learning like food rapper telling you how to eat nutritionally?
No.
It was okay. I think it gets a bad rap, no pun intended.
Don't they have a food and wine kiosk booth, whatever
they
it's
do.
called? It's called Food Rocks now, and I honestly would prefer that. But it's still there. So because they have that really good, I think that's where you can get like the steak and stuff.
I think possibly, yeah.
Steak and stuff.
That would also be a good booth for food and wine.
But no,
Steak and
Spaceship
stuff.
Earth for sure.
Yeah.
Bailey, thank you for the cup again. If I haven't said it a few times,
Say
I
it
always-
again.
I
Say
always
it
end up
again.
using this one though because it's got Kermit on the.
And if you weren't aware, Mr. Daps loves Kermit the Frog.
That is true. All right, so what's next?
Let's go to the side. We'll hash out Imagination versus Kitchen Cabaret.
Imagination.
Not even close. Hard Epcot catchy tune.
I mean, Kitchen Cabaret has a catchy tune as well.
No, that's my point. Is it's Heart of Epcot versus catchy
Oh,
tune.
versus catchy tune. Well, they both do. One Little Spark is extremely catchy too.
Yeah, I agree, but that's it's
yeah,
it's
I
a
know.
song.
I don't know.
that has
It's
the
just
heart of
it's so hard. I don't want to like. It's like choosing your favorite kid. I don't have kids, but this is what I imagine it's like.
it. No, it's not because it's Figment, Murray. Figment.
No, this is
So-
harder.
Okay, I'm sorry, little Billy. You didn't make it.
Okay.
So, Maelstrom versus Horizons.
Once again, this one actually
Horizons.
that one's harder for me. Because I did love Maelstrom, but I feel like I would have loved Horizons even more.
Yeah. This was extremely hard for me because both of these rides were ones that I would just like run to.
Oh, I guarantee I would have too.
Yeah.
Like if they're both open, it would have been like, which one's first? I don't actually know. Probably whichever one I thought would be shorter in the morning, but that
was usually Horizons. However, it's just because Maelstrom was actually as popular as Frozen at times.
Oh yeah, like the first time I went, you had to wait.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's Horizons.
Yeah. No. But I'm trying to get my bias out of the way because Horizons is one of my just
Let's
all-time
go,
favorite rides.
but think of scope of Horizons versus scope of Maelstrom.
It had here we go. Yeah, I gotta go Horizons. It had the interactive.
Well, and it just was a much bigger
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call it. Like it just took you into a
Track.
bigger story.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was much more massive in scale.
Yeah.
We do have a question for you, Murray, that you're gonna have fun answering. On a totally separate topic. Did you make Mr. Daps a cake this year? Or
I did not because social distancing.
Yes, we've been socially distancing, as you can see, which is why we're doing Geeks Corner, just like we do this with remote filming. So no, there was no ketchup cake.
There should be no one making a cake for anyone right now.
I actually didn't get a cake this year, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll make you one.
Your cakes are good, Katie. I would take one.
Aw, I was trying to joke, but thank you.
At the beginning of the the quarantine, Katie and her father dropped me off a piece of cake, and it was delicious.
Because I decided out of nowhere to make yellow cake from scratch.
And I can't say that it's better than Murray's because I can't honestly say I've had Murray's cake.
I know.
So.
That's better. All right.
Okay.
So we've got Ellen versus Club Cool.
And that was a good segue, though, is we are going to have an excellent baker that's better than any of us on Geeks Corner tomorrow night. And we've got Kelly, who is from Pretty Little Bakers, who will be on Geeks Corner tomorrow night. So make sure to tune in. So Ellen versus Club Cool.
Ellen?
This one's hard for me because I actually am finding myself thinking, like, which one, like, one's 45 seconds versus 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of leaning towards Club Cool just for survival reasons, but I think Ellen was probably a better experience.
Well, and okay, so here's the other thing. Everyone's overheating, everyone's getting grumpy. Go on Ellen's energy adventure.
Then you're grumpy and air conditioned.
But it's 45 minutes of air conditioning, and most
Maybe
people
over
took a
that.
nap.
I really struggled on that one.
Most people took a nap.
Yeah, I couldn't. I'm going to go with Ellen. Murray?
I'm going to go Ellen.
I'm going Ellen.
All right, we're unanimous.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yay, Ellen.
It just, I mean, an actual like ride.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's a long movie with it too, but yeah. Community Corps versus Spaceship Earth.
I'm going to stick with
Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship. Do you agree, Murray? To me, I can already tell you it's going to be hard because Spaceship Earth, Horizons, and Journey into Imagination are three very central to the heart of what EPCOT is about, attractions. And
but I could say the same about Community Corps.
I could too.
I'm trying to showcase a lot. Yeah.
As I was saying it, I could think of that too. I just feel like Spaceship Earth took you on more of a journey into that.
Yeah. I think I gotta go with Spaceship Earth just because of where it's housed. Like it's literally the icon of the park. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I was being outvoted anyway. I don't know.
I mean, this is where it's going to get really hard, though. Like, this one's not going to be
This
hard,
one?
but everything
Imagination, man, tough.
Man.
So tough.
What do we say?
Ugh.
Figment wins.
Yeah.
I mean, classic Disney icon Ellen DeGeneres versus Figment.
Classic Disney icon and mascot of Imagineering.
I feel like we could do a whole DAPS Magic Live on Figment.
I could talk about Figment forever.
I actually have some Figment things, I think, Katie, that you have never seen.
What?
That's cool.
I love Figment.
Figment is, over the last few years, has become probably my favorite Disney, like core Disney character. Not if anything they've purchased, whether it's Star Wars, Muppets, all that stuff. And then it gets a little bit more complicated. But the more I think about it, I just realize what he represents and what he is. I wholeheartedly agree with. So he becomes better and better each year.
A funny story is that when I was writing my Figment article, which you can find on dapsmagic.com, I kind of included a description of each version of the attraction. And when I was writing about the original Journey into Imagination and I plugged a video, I was like listening to it and I just like broke down crying. I know, surprise, surprise, Katie started crying. No, but when Figment says to Dreamfinder, can they imagine too? I just broke down. I was like, Figment, yes, we can. Like, he's so pure. Anyway, I just love Figment. Anyway, thank you for listening.
Okay.
And then he turns into a skunk in the newest one. So we've got.
I saw one the other night when I was walking.
Figment? That's fun.
No, skunk.
That was a joke. I thought it was funny, but.
So Horizons versus Spaceship Earth.
Horizons.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, why?
In the grand scope of things, Horizons. I think if you were to ask most Disney fans what they could experience, whether it be a earlier version of Spaceship Earth or Horizons, I think that most would give anything to time travel and see Horizons.
But that's going with the assumption that they can still go on the current version of Spaceship Earth.
But I don't know that I would pick.
You don't want Eric. You don't want Eric Perrin narrating Spaceship Earth in 1982.
I really want Horizons.
I'm honestly playing. I'm not even playing devil's advocate. I'm struggling a little bit. Mainly because my trick is Spaceship Earth still exists.
Yes.
In some level, and yes, it's a slightly different experience. Well, you could say quite a bit different experience, but the building is still there, and that track is still there, I guess is what I should say. Horizon's obviously gone, flattened, completely disappeared. But when they were both open, that's where, like, let's say they were both open and that's what we were choosing, and go with the assumption that both are gone today. Which one would be the bigger missing thing? And it'd probably be the building for Spaceship Earth, which is still there, which is why I keep going like, well, Horizons isn't, which is why I lean towards Horizons, but then I'm second guessing myself.
I mean, that is the hard thing. However, now we got to think through if you don't have, this is going to sound worse than it is. If you don't have a great ride inside the building, then it still doesn't matter if it's gone. You know, like, it's an 100%. Icon, but why have the icon? Like,
it's just a picture point.
I think Horizons and Spaceship Earth were very similar in what they were trying to tell. I think Horizons executed it better.
Well, and if I were to go Horizons versus current, like from a music standpoint of current Spaceship Earth, I'd have a lot harder time choosing, because my leaning is Horizons, but I keep like pushing back against my instincts because I'm like, well, is that because I really love current Spaceship Earth, or is that because? And honestly, I listen to the Horizons music way more than I listen to Spaceship Earth.
I love the current Spaceship Earth. I think I would still pick Horizons over current Spaceship.
I think I would too. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not being dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you because I like they did update Spaceship Earth, whereas they hadn't with Horizons. Like, that's because they took it out, it's always going to be stuck in that older technology. But
and I kind of think that's the reason we should go with Horizons, is because it didn't get the chance to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
And it truly is an extinct, like, there will never be that.
That's true. Yeah.
And to say a thing, Horizons was leveled and replaced with a far inferior attraction.
Maybe.
I don't love that attraction.
I don't either. Like, to me, it's very uncomfortable.
From a popularity standpoint, even, it's not. I think, like, technology-wise, I'm always amazed that they were able to do basically like a space training exercise.
Yeah, great simulator.
But yeah, I hardly go on it.
There's no heart to it.
So
no.
All right, so Horizons it is.
I think so. Yeah. Whew. We are down to
this one's hard.
Battle Royale. This is we have been dreading this showdown. This particular part of the showdown.
This is the showdown I expected, to be completely honest. So Mike says he just reviewed Horizons POV. Murray's made great points. I go with Horizons too. Do you still go with Horizons against Imagination though, Mike, or is that just against Spaceship Earth?
Okay.
All right, Katie, you can speak first.
Okay, I don't want to. Let me speak. I will speak.
Please do.
I, unsurprisingly, am going to say Figment, because specifically this version of the attraction has Dreamfinder, which we have not seen since. I feel like Dreamfinder is unfortunately extremely underrepresented in the Disney parks. It's mainly become Figment, and they forget about Dreamfinder, which is unfortunate. I would love to see Dreamfinder make a comeback. But I love... There is a heart in the original version of the attraction that the following two never had. Obviously, the direct follow-up to Journey into Imagination, Journey into Your Imagination, was incredibly unpopular because it
didn't appear in the brackets.
Yeah. So, and then Journey into Imagination with Figment, it's fun, but it's too scientific for my liking. It kind of takes the heart out of it, and I get that Figment is trying to warm up someone that is very scientific and looks at things a very certain way. But I feel like Figment is treated like a nuisance in the newest version of the attraction, as where in the original version, Figment is celebrated for what Figment is, and they don't try and change him. I really, really love Figment, if y'all haven't picked up on that one yet.
And I would actually say that imagination was always central to what Walt Disney envisioned for his theme parks. And that celebration of imagination came to life in Figment, and it should be celebrated even more, as opposed to pigeonholed in a corner and thrown into some merchandise. And so I honestly think the world needs more of his positive imagination. And as much as I love Horizons, and I actually would probably on YouTube watch Horizons more than I would watch the original Imagination attraction, but what it represented, I find myself leaning to Journey into Imagination as well.
I can actually go with Horizons for what you just said too, because Walt Disney's vision was also forward thinking always. That he started incorporating that with Disneyland.
Yep.
That EPCOT itself and the Florida project was supposed to be forward thinking
100% Horizons.
And about future. I think Horizons actually still represents, and granted it's a more scientific imagination, but I think that there's all of that too. That even the name, the idea of Horizons is that there's something out there that we can go towards. If we dream it, we really can do it.
So yeah, that's the other thing.
Not a Walt Disney quote. However,
I was going to say, no,
that is correct.
The other part that I was going to talk about was as Walt Disney once said, if you can dream it, you can do it. And I really think that Horizons is built off of, what Walt Disney imagined. Walt Disney dreamt it, and, we could do it because he dreamt it, because Walt Disney. Anyway, if you can dream it, you can do it. It's not a Walt Disney quote, y'all.
No.
Even Disney sometimes says that's a Walt Disney quote. It's not.
So are you sticking with Imagination, Katie, or are you coming over?
Oh, no, I'm sticking with Journey into Imagination fully.
I will admit either of them is the right answer.
I agree.
Because I do think one of them is the more whimsical approach from Walt Disney, and the other is the more innovative approach to Walt Disney. And I think they actually represent two different parts of his imagination. As I'm sitting here in his dream, as I'm sitting here looking at Horizons and Imagination standing in front of me. But I keep coming back to, I really do think that Figment personifies something that can reach everyone, the original Figment, in a way that it's positive, it's innovative, it's imaginative, and both of the songs get stuck in my head. I'm sticking with Imagination. And Murray, you just activated Mike Siri.
I'm sticking with Horizons, which means I'm outvoted, but that's okay. I think this really was a hard one.
And this is the one that if we're not going to have consensus, this is where it's going to be. And really, I would be fine with either.
Yeah. I will say, after I went on my mini rant, I have had the beginning of Horizon stuck in my head.
Yeah, it's amazing.
If you can dream it, then you can do it.
All right, so
yes, you can.
Do we do EPCOT versus Hollywood Studios now, or do we wait for next?
I think we've got to wait because we've got 4 parks.
So
with,
how
like,
about, do you remember what all the 4 winners are right now? And we can tease that for our next DAPS Magic Live
Magic
extinct
Journeys?
attractions.
Magic Journeys was Magic Kingdom.
Can't believe that.
Granted, not an overlap. The more I thought, I've actually that's the one I had to think through, like through days. Like, did we really have that? I'm like, actually, I mean, yeah, it was a magic journey for one. It was innovative. It had a song that was catchy, but
I do love that I was still getting texts from both of you about Magic Journeys for days after that last live stream.
It was the right choice.
Yes.
We actually, Katie and Mr. Daps was able to go through some psychosis that I've had that through when we watched, and we figured out some just traumatic things that I've had in my head.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Magic Journey sticks with you, whether you like it or not.
Magic Journey.
And what do we have for Animal Kingdom again?
I believe it was the riverboats, right?
Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Kinetic Energy.
Yeah.
So then we've got Journey into Imagination, and we say great movie, right? I already forgot what we said for Hollywood.
No, I think we said
It was animation.
Oh, animation.
Oh, Disney animation. Okay. So I think for the next one, the 3 of us and all of you, if you want to do this at home, we need to go through and find video of all 4 of these attractions and do our homework and make sure that we come in with it like burned into our brains and our hearts, each one of these 4.
Oh, gosh.
And
That's
yeah,
so painful.
but so it's a little bit more fresh, and we can make sure.
Can I be excused from Magic Journeys?
No,
I don't think that you should study that.
you don't have
Gonna
to.
see me. You're gonna see me on the next one, just like.
Yeah. No, if you already know it, so it's fine. But I'm gonna go back and revisit it. And I think we can revisit it, and you can do this at home as well.
We probably will also get through. We're gonna go down to like the all-time extinct attraction, I think, too, because we've got the Disneyland Resort,
and we got People Mover at Disneyland, right?
We got People Mover at Disneyland. That was Disneyland Resort, I think.
Yep.
So
Yes, that was the winner for the resort.
So we'll do a winner for Walt Disney World Resort next week, and then it will go up against Disneyland Resort, and then we'll really debate the merits, and then we'll also go back and talk about the entire experience if we had time, and see if we think that we made any mistakes.
We could even do, and maybe I'll just say real quick. I don't know if this will be quick, so maybe we'll save it. But there's actually like 2 kind of parks or 2 things that are entirely extinct. We can't even do as attractions.
Oh, there you go.
One of them somebody tried to use as their COVID hideaway recently.
Yeah, their campground. Yeah.
But there's Evergreen and River Country are 2 entirely extinct things in Walt Disney World.
I think we can reference those.
I find River Country fascinating.
All right. So now we know where we're going next. We thank everybody for watching. We hope you've had as much fun as we have. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you catch all of our future videos that are going to go up. I think I have a Tiki Room video from 2008 that will be going up soon, along with a Thunder Mountain video from 2008 that'll go up soon as well. And we've got Geeks Corner tomorrow at 9:30 Tuesday nights every week. We've got Kelly from Pretty Little Bakers that will be on, along with another special guest who you'll probably see more of. But yeah, it'll be a great night, so don't miss that. But we hope you have a fantastic week, and it's looking like sooner rather than later we'll see you in the parks. Have a great night, everybody.